lessons and put them on haiku. So check if you ever miss anything, it should be on the haiku page. Okay, so factoring trinomials. These are different from the problems we were doing last week. Last week, all the problems that we were doing had two terms. We looked at perfect squares, we looked at perfect cubes. Trinomials mean there are three terms. Think of a tricycle. Three nomials means terms. So we've got three terms. The first thing we should always do is always look for GCF. That has not changed. That should always be the first thing that you look for. Do all my terms have something in common? So when we look at number 15, they do not all have the variable n, so that's out. They are not all divisible by a common factor. So no GCF there on number 15. So we know that we automatically go to two sets of parentheses. Okay. This one, we're doing a little bit higher power than we've done in the past. You factored stuff like this before, but you haven't done n to the fourth. So that's n squared times n squared. It's the same principle though. X times x is x squared, so n squared times n squared is n to the fourth. We got to figure out what multiplies to give us negative 24 and adds to give us 2. So let me remind you of the easy way to do that. In your calculator, go to your y equals, you type in the last number divided by x. If it's negative, you include that negative, and you go to the table and you're looking for whole numbers. Now, based on where my table is, I'm really lucky because there's the answer. 6 plus negative 4 equals positive 2. So plus 6 minus 4 are my factors there. Check it. Always check it. N squared times n squared is n to the fourth. Outside gives us negative 4n squared. Inside gives us positive 6n squared. That combines to be positive 2n squared. Positive 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Now, you should always check to make sure that it doesn't factor further. N squared plus 6 does not. It's a plus. If it's a plus, your only option is a perfect cube. 6 is not a perfect cube. 2 is not divisible by 3. N squared minus 4 is the difference of perfect squares. N plus 2 times n minus 2. That is factored completely. Okay, number 16. All three of those terms do have a W in common. So that's our starting point. We pull out the W. We had 3 W's. We took one of them out, so we've got 2 left. We had 2 W's. We pulled one of them out, so we have 1 left. And we pulled out the W from the negative 20W, so just the negative 20 is left there. Now, I could use the calculator, but this one's not that hard. W times W is W squared. Positive 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, and positive 5 minus 4 is positive 1. When your powers are all 1, you're done. When the powers are all 1, you're done. You don't have to look for anything factoring further. This one compared to the previous one, we had n squared. Here we don't have w squared, we just have w. You're never going to factor further when all the powers are 1. Okay, number 17. Looking at that, our numbers, they are all even. So 2 is part of our GCF. And all of our terms have an A. So 2A is our GCF. 2 divided by 2 is 1. We took 1A away from 3 A's, so we have 2 A's left. 38 divided by 2 is 19. We took 1A away from 2 A's, so we have 1A left. 68 divided by 2 is 34. And we pulled out the A, so it's just 34 by itself. All right, so 34 divided by x. We're looking for what adds to give us 19. Looking for whole numbers in our list here. 17 and 2. A plus 17, A plus 2. I know that those are both positives because 34 was a positive, so I have the same signs. The 19 is positive, so 17 and 2 both have to be positive. All my powers are 1, so I'm done. Okay, number 18. All those terms have an x, so we factor out the x. We're left with x to the 4th minus 24x squared minus 25. So x squared times x squared gives us x to the 4th. Factors of 25 that add to give us 24. How about negative 25 plus 1? Negative 25x squared plus 1x squared is negative 24x squared. And negative 25 times positive 1 is negative 25. Okay, we've got powers that are greater than 1. We should see if something factors further. X squared minus 25 is the difference of perfect squares. X plus 5, x minus 5, x squared plus 1, can't do anything there. Yes, 1's a perfect square, but we cannot do the sum of perfect squares. Perfect squares only work when there is a minus. Plus will not work. So that is fully factored.